If money was not an issue, what would you make? I was recently asked that question, and it really put me thinking. So the first thing that came up is, I would make this massive ball gown out of beautiful silk dupion and line it with silk organza. Oh yes, I still want to make that. But here's the reality. I will make a dress like that and maybe wear it once for a photo shoot. And then maybe wear it once more just because I can. But the reality is, I will not use it. Today we're fixing my jersey. It's full of fluff. I will not use it. And if money is not an issue, it doesn't matter if you don't use it. But my conscience won't let me. But let me first introduce myself. I'm Katinka. I'm the seamstress at the cottage. Over here we talk about sewing related stuff and sometimes some other things. So back to the question. If money was not an issue, what would I make? So the first thing I realized is I didn't even want to think about it, because what does it help to dream about stuff if it can't be real? In the last few years, a lot of the dreams that I had to give up on. And I kind of feel like I have dream fatigue. I don't know if that is a thing, but I'm going to call it. And if it's not a thing, I'm going to make it a thing. So dream fatigue is when you dream and you want to do stuff and it doesn't work out. And then you are left with the disappointment of picking up the pieces afterwards. But here's the other part of that coin. If you don't dream, then life is boring. And without dreams, why do you live? So then, past this point of philosophical wisdom or rambling, whatever side you're on, I was thinking about it and I realized that I have been dreaming about making a tailored jacket for so long. Now you might say, Katinka, a tailored jacket, it's not so difficult. You make a jacket, you put shoulder pads and that's it. But it's not. Tailoring has so much more to it. There is the pad stitching to get all the pieces to lay right. Then there's the facing and the interfacing and the stiffening. And oh my gosh, I've been going down that rabbit hole. There are so many parts of making a tailored jacket. And a lot of that is done by hand. And this is what I've realized. I don't always have the time. Let's go and sit down. I don't always have the time to do all those things. You know, a while ago, I was in a position where I could wake up in the morning and get going and do the things that I want to do. Let's just move you there. How's that? Is that okay? I think so. So do the things that I want to do and then in between do a few other things. And it was such a joy. But I'm not in that position now, and now I have to rush. So whenever I do something, I need to get it done as quickly as possible because there's 120 other jobs that needs to be done. Have you ever been in a position like that where it just never stops? Now, when I still had my sewing business, that was part of my life. I literally would get up in the morning, start cutting out for the orders that I had to do, and then just go. And I would never stop. And when I gave up on that and pursued my dreams, I didn't miss it. And so now I'm at that place where I still don't miss it, but I need to start doing it again because, income, life, rent, all those things. But also, there's a place of being more conscious. I went to fetch my phone because I want to show you on Pinterest. Why's my phone dead? Oh no, it's not dead. I want to show you on Pinterest. Pinterest is dangerous. And you might ask why I'm saying that. Well, there's lots of reasons. One, it's a time trap. Two, what I find myself doing is I pin it, I look at it, I go through the whole, let's go down that rabbit hole and find what it is about and how to do it. I'm just finding my thing, my board. And then my head feels like I've done it, so then I move on to the next shiny thing. And that's dangerous, because then I never get stuff done. So what I've recently realized is, before Pinterest and Facebook and Instagram, I know some of you have not lived without it, but there was a time when we lived without it. And before that, I would literally wake up in the morning and think, oh, I want to do this. And then I would just try and figure it out. Now I think, oh, I want to do this. And then I go and I Google it, and I Pinterest search, and I go on Facebook to see what people are doing, and then I YouTube it. And then I spend 2 days figuring out how to do the thing I want to do, and then not do it, because now I feel my brain had those small little dopamine hits, that makes it feel good. And then I feel like, oh, I've accomplished my goal, and I just move on to the next shiny thing. So a lot of the things that I want to do, I don't do it because I'm constantly doing research. And I find that that is a trap of the age we are living in. There is a place for research. Now, previously I would have books. I would go to the library and get a book. But then a book is a real commitment. So if I want to, for example, learn how to make a tailored jacket, then I would go to the library and find a book on tailoring, and then read through the book and take it from there. Or I would just wing it and go through it and pick something that is tailored and figure it out. But what I found with all of these resources, I've stopped doing that. So let me show you this one. So this is the insides of a tailor jacket. And as you can see, there is a lot of layers. And I've been looking at it. So I've first thing, if money was not a issue, what would I make? So money, it would be the fabrics. So for a proper tailor jacket, you will need, I don't know about you, but I want to make it in a suiting wool. Now I've looked online, and I've also looked at some of the fabric stores, and I can get it. A good suiting wool starts anything from about $30 a meter up to $1,000 a meter, depending on what you buy. And that is that part. Then you have the horsehair woven fabric. I could find that for about $20 a meter. Then there's a wool padding that you put underneath. It's almost like a felt, especially for women, that just makes this part, if you have a jacket, sometimes it makes frimmels here. So I want that to be smooth. So you will put that in there. You also have your webbing that you use around the sleeves and on the cuffs of the sleeve to make them hang properly. You have your shoulder pad. So in the end, there is a lot of parts to a tailor jacket. So that is just the fabrics. Then the time comes in. So as you can see, that front of this jacket is pad stitched. Now I've been looking at different jackets, and there's a lot of pad stitching and stuff that needs to happen. There's a lot of layers that needs to happen. Speaking of layers, look at all those layers in that jacket. And yes, there is a way of just making a jacket and doing the bare minimum, but then it's not really tailored. And part of the thing with a tailored jacket is the way it fits. Here's another example of the different things. I mean, they pad stitch that lining on the inside of that jacket completely. So I want to do all of those things because I want something, not exactly this pattern, but it needs to fit like this. Can you see how there's no drag lines and it's not falling in on itself? That is what I want. I want it to look like, I almost want to say, a piece of art. So the one part is, if money is not a problem, what would I make? So the money is the fabric. That is expensive. But even more, because the reality is, I have everything to make that jacket. I was given, my friend's granny gave up her sewing and stuff when she went into the old age home at 90. And she had everything. She's got the wool, she's got the lining, she's got the horsehair. Everything is there. I just need to find the inner wool that you line it with. But everything is there. I just need to sit and make it. The color is not exactly me, so I think I'm going to try and over-dye it. But everything else, it's there. And so I thought about it and I realized part of the thing that's holding me back is I'm really trying not to have so many whips or works in progress. Through the years, I've started a lot of things. And when I gave up my house and my sewing room and everything else, it really shocked me to see how many projects there were that I started that I never finished. Some of them I didn't finish because it didn't work out. That's fine, but I could have repurposed that fabric. But some of them I never finished because I got stuck on a certain technique, or I ran out of time. And then I had to go on to the next thing, because I would maybe give myself a weekend to make something for me, and then it took longer than that, and then there was no more time to make it. And when I finally get back to it, my weight might have changed, or I don't like the project anymore. And so if I start a project like this, I want the time to sit and make it. So I've been looking into it, and I can go and take tailoring classes, because then I will make the jacket in the class. And I don't particularly want to make tailored jackets for anybody else, because the pad stitching alone is going to really affect my wrists and my hands. But I'm willing to do it for myself. So then I started looking into what it's going to cost to do those, for example, tailoring classes. And firstly, it's the fuel to get to it. So it's on the other side of the city. So that is, I'm looking at about maybe 4 liters of fuel to get there. And so it's the fuel. It is the classes. I will have to leave a certain time in the day, because it's quite early to get there in time. So that means some of my work time is cut away. Then it's the classes. That's not a cheap course. And so this whole thing of what would you make if money was not a problem really made me think about it, and what is the obstacles. And I can validate sorting out all these obstacles. But by the end of this exercise, I got to a point where I felt totally overwhelmed. It's not just the money, it's not just the time. It's the investment of energy and figuring things out that actually is getting me down. Or no, I don't want to say it's getting me down. It's making that I think it's not possible. And I know anything is possible, but this is another thing that's happened. I've turned 50, and I love it. I love it that I'm actually 53 now. But when I turned 50, it was like things just settled. But with that drive that I had when I was younger, I would just make it work. I would just go out and figure out how to do it. And even if I didn't sleep, now, if I don't sleep, I don't function. I don't know how my 30, 40-year-old did it. I just kept going. I can't function if I don't sleep now. So that's the one thing. The rushing. I don't do well with rushing anymore. I really love slow living. I know it's the in thing, but if I can get up, I don't mind getting up early. I love getting up early. It gives me so much time for myself, where there's no interruptions of phone calls or anything. But just to think that I now have to, as like today, I have a thing on at 10:30, which I'm looking forward to. I mean, I'm going cold plunging. I love cold plunging. But I'm already thinking, it's now 7 o'clock. Oh, I need to rush because I need to get this video done and this and that. And it just freaks me out. Now, I also know that a while ago, in that time when I decided to pursue my dream, just before that, I just burned out a little bit, maybe a little bit much. And after that, I've really struggled with not managing my time, because I do manage my time most days, but just struggled to function properly. And I know there's a lot of healing that took place in the last few years, but there's still some things that I need to look at and sort out. And it's not always easy. So I don't really have answers. I think that's my conclusion. I don't really have answers. So if money was not a problem, I would make a tailored jacket. The reality is, to make the tailored jacket, money is not really the problem. In a sense, maybe it is. Maybe if I could do day classes instead of night classes, that would make a difference. But that means I would have to have the money that I need to live from already available. So that maybe is part of, if money is not a problem. But just those little things. And I never sat and did an audit of what it really will take to do these things. And it was so interesting when I did this exercise to see what is really holding me back. It's not always money. Sometimes it's me. Sometimes it's circumstances. Sometimes it's just the reality that this is not a day where I want to sew. And that's also real. So I'm going to just leave it there because I don't have a conclusion. But I do want to know, if money is not a problem, what would you make? What is that dream project that you've always wanted to do, but you were too scared of? And what is holding you back? Put that in the comments. I would really love to hear that. And I think I'm going to pursue making this jacket and see how I can fit it in between. I've done all the research. It's all on Pinterest. I've spent thousands of hours. No, not exactly. Quite a few hours searching that up. I do prefer books. Oh, that's another thing. If money was not a problem, I would buy, there's a tailoring book that I would really like, but it's like 900 and something rands in South Africa. And yeah, that's a lot of money. So I'm not going to buy the book. So it's just things like that where I realize with doing this audit that it's not always, because I've been literally accusing myself of being lazy and unmotivated and all the ugly things that I would never tell my friends, but I've been telling myself that. And by doing this audit, I've realized there's more than just those few little things that I thought originally is in the way. So I have the fabric, I can do it. I do have the research, I can do it. I don't particularly need to go to a class. It might just make it easier. So maybe over on my community page and on my Ko-fi, I'm going to do behind the scenes of me pursuing this endeavor. And I don't know if I'm going to get it right, but I think the first step is just to cut it out. Cut out all the pieces. I've got the pattern I want to follow as well. And then take it from there and see where it takes me. I would love if you come along. And I will make updates on here, just short updates of what's happening with the jacket. But I really would love to know, what are you working on? What is the thing, that dream project, that if money was not a problem, what would you make? What is that? Put it in the comments. I would really like to hear. Oh, always love spending time with you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.